welcome back to Mystic Matters. We are the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce. Good evening, Kristen.
Good evening, Suzette.
Nice to have you back.
Thank you so much.
You were only gone one show.
I was gone for like an hour.
You were gone for an hour. But thank you so much. It was wonderful having Jim Holly and Bill Smith. I told them they were like bookends.
The Boys Club.
The Boys Club from the class of 1974.
You're breaking that ceiling, aren't you? You're in there.
Can we edit that? Anyways, I was smoking the cigars, but thank you. And I know you've been pitch hitting for almost a year now, and it's really nice to have you here, Kristen.
Thanks.
So, what do we got going on?
So, the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce is going to be moving their location. Very exciting.
Right.
I think Bill talked about this last week.
Yeah.
And right now we're in the Packer building. We love John Holstein. We love the Packer building. I have a great view of my office, by the way.
Right.
So if anybody's looking for a nice office, 3 or 4 offices suite, that is the place to have it. Anyway, we're moving to 62. Yes.
62 Greenmanville. No, I was going to say, now your office will be the view of the parking lot, but a great looking parking lot.
Parking is
parking
an important word. Yes,
yeah.
We have a parking lot behind our visitor center, welcome center at 62 Greenmanville Avenue, kitty corner to the Seaport Museum entrance. So we're going to make a lot of new friends, maybe 12,000 a day, we're hoping.
Right. Well, you know, the businesses and the community have been saying we need the Chamber of Commerce a little bit more visible. So it just took a little time for us to find the right location, and what better location right across from the Mystic Seaport.
I love it.
It's a great location.
In
so
the winter, I'm going to be able
congratulations.
to see the sails, I think, of the Morgan.
And you volunteer at the Mystic Seaport.
I do volunteer at the Mystic Seaport.
So there you go. You'll be right at home. But anyways, Kristen, welcome back, and it's nice to have you here. So one of my favorite shows as we go in, and I say the fourth quarter, because as soon as October and November and December come, of course, when you own a retail shop, that is what we call the fourth quarter. But one of my favorite shows is a show that we can introduce tonight, is the Chorus of Westerly, and I want to tell you why it's one of my favorite shows, because
why is it your favorite
because
show?
I get nostalgic, you know, when I start looking at the music,
and
that's why we don't have you singing. But I get excited, and I love hearing what is going on just in our own backyard. So we're going to open it up to our guests and have them do their introduction, because we have 3 people on from the Chorus of Westerly. So why don't we start on my right-hand side?
I'm Ashley Shea, and I am the Patron Services Manager at the Chorus of Westerly.
And welcome back, Ashley.
Thank you.
Yes, you're not new.
I'm not new anymore, no.
I'm Ryan Saunders. I'm the Executive Director of the Chorus of Westerly, and I'm not new either.
No, Ryan is not new.
Newish.
But
Newish.
welcome back.
Thank you.
Ryan.
Thank you.
So nice to have you back.
And I am Jessica Peters, the Director of Advancement of the Chorus.
Okay, and Jessica sort of is new. She followed Ashley about a week.
Last time we brought them both in, scooped them up from the Midwest and brought them both in.
Where is the what?
The Midwest.
My husband is from the Midwest, and a wonderful place to be from. And welcome back to Mystic and Westerly and our corner. So just a little conversation prior to opening up to why they are here. I love the new life that has been, the breath of fresh air that the Chorus of Westerly has now, and thank you guys for delivering that and showing it to all of our community. It's just been great. I had the opportunity of having the schedule, in front of me, and we're going to talk a little bit about the music and the parts that all the folks are play tonight. But Ryan, why don't we start with you, since you're sort of the anchor.
I guess
okay?
something like that.
Something like that. But we're missing Andrew a little bit.
We are.
And tell us a little bit about Andrew and sort of what you do, and where is the Chorus of Westerly?
Sure. Well, first, the Andrew we're referring to is Andrew Howell, who is the music director of the Chorus of Westerly, who is beginning his 5th season. He took over for George Kent, our founding director, in 2012. But it's amazing now we're almost 5 years in from that big transition. He's the music director of the Chorus of Westerly. I'm the executive director. Andrew is not here today because he is actually in rehearsal right now. So
and we need that.
The music is paramount more than anything. So, but the Chorus of Westerly is one of the only intergenerational choruses in the United States, and symphonic choruses. And what that means is it's a chorus where adults and children perform masterworks in the entire season. And this is very rare to have an ensemble that has adults and kids doing everything. Everything from the major masterworks, from Messiah or the C minor Mass and things along those lines by Mozart, to big pops concerts. We have a huge holiday Christmas pops concerts in December, which
The
is I know
best. That's one of my favorites. Yeah.
And we also have a very large summer pops concert in June in Wilcox Park in
Wilcox
Westerly.
Park, yeah.
The ensemble we have about 200 singers in the ensemble. I think we're about 190-ish or so right now, but we're just starting up for the season. They come from about 36 different towns across southeastern Connecticut and all of Rhode Island, and I think from 2 towns in Massachusetts. So we are as much a local organization as we are a regional organization now. And
that's a difference, too.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, it's a big
not just, our title is Chorus of Westerly,
Right.
which is important because we are of Westerly, but quite frankly, we are, I would say, a chorus of Southern New England right now, too. A very ambitious program for 56, 57 years, 58 years, I guess we're in now. And it's a real joy of an organization to work because you have an organization where you have children singing along with their parents and in some cases along with their grandparents. And actually this year we have our first ever 4th generation singer in the chorus, which is Andrew's own daughter, who is singing in the chorus.
Right, I think we talked a little bit about that last year. Yeah.
His wife's grandmother, mother, and she has sung in the chorus, and now Sadie Howell is now our first 4th generation singer. So it's
wonderful.
Fairly amazing.
Can I ask you, what does pops mean? Whenever it's Boston Pops, what
Sure. I mean, if you hear Boston Pops or you hear the New York Pop or a Pops concert, it derives from being more popular music. And I mean, it's not, we're not singing Taylor Swift or something out there, but it's more, well, hey, you never know. She lives down the street. Pops concerts tend to be more music that is not necessarily more modern, but maybe more accessible to a larger group of people.
Maybe relatable to some of the group.
Things that are favorites, old chestnuts and things like that. And for the holiday season, for example, carols and hymns that you might be familiar with.
Chestnuts roasting on it.
That one.
That one.
We could.
This is my audition.
See,
This is next.
And you did it. The segue was great. I planted it. I put it on the tee.
Yeah.
You hit it out of the park.
Make sure. I mean, if you're going to go, it's that Sunday.
Christmas
okay.
Pops.
Christmas Pops, and then the summer Pops concerts are the.
That's a very popular one.
Different. I mean, you're having there. I mean, music, film score music, and musicals and marches, things that you would see traditional. But the Boston Pops Orchestra, which is probably the most famous Pops orchestra out there, is actually part of the Boston Symphony Orchestra organization, and it's many of the same players playing sort of that lighter fare. And they have a winter pop season up in Boston, and they have a spring, summerish pop season. But our model of the chorus, in terms of those pops concerts, comes after the Boston model. Mostly back to the Arthur Fiedler days when he was conductor. Now they're a couple directors beyond there. Yeah, Keith Lockhart's been director for 20 years now, I think.
Right.
But our symphonic structure is actually based a lot on what you would find in these major cities, like with the BSO, the Boston Symphony, or the New York Philharmonic and places like that, big masterworks. So what we're trying to do right here in our little region is present these concerts of huge artistic importance the same way that you would get them in one of the bigger cities. And then the involvement in children to have that experience to do that is really the unique flavor. Andrew Howell happens to be a former child singer, so here's a kid who grew up in the area and then became the director of all of it. I was a former singer too. I went a little different path, but in that way, and many of our board members are former child singers themselves, so it's sort of, we've been this sort of homegrown cycle to keep this tradition alive.
But they also have the passion in the organization.
Oh yeah, and I think that's important. And I mean, this is a region of very dedicated, loyal people who like things to stay the same, but also things have to change. You talk about breath of fresh air and changing, but it's
I love it.
Continuing traditions and things that are important, but finding new and innovative ways to do it.
Recognizing also basically the tradition too, but also bringing it forward.
Yeah.
So Ashley, we're talking about a camp. Is that what we're?
Yeah.
Children's camp. So tell us a little
It
bit
was my
about.
first camp.
Yeah.
So it was a big deal for me. Well, it was my first experience at Ogounce Camp with the Chorus of Westerly, but I also never went to camp when I was younger. So I felt like this was like my first
Jessica,
real
you never went
camp.
to camp?
Never went to camp.
Amazing.
So I was excited and I was nervous and I didn't know what to expect, and it was incredible. I didn't even know places like that existed. It's really just magical for the kids and all of the programs and activities they have and that bonding experience they get for a week. It's I wish I had something like that when I was younger, but I feel very grateful to have that experience now, even as an adult.
You seem to have turned out okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did. I survived.
Well, the wonderment was there as an adult. You're seeing it through the children.
Through their, yes, absolutely. And I mean, even the adults, I feel like were like kids when we were there too. It was really incredible and beautiful and a wonderful bonding experience. And you know, I'm not from the area and I didn't grow up here, but it's a way for me to become a part of that family and a part of the group, and everybody's so welcoming, and it's just a really special organization, and camp was awesome.
But what are the children learning there? What part?
Well, they have rehearsals several times a day, and there's a lot of extracurricular activities for them. There's swimming, and there was arts and crafts, and there's a waterfall that they could go to, and Jessica did hikes with the kids, hiking around. Yeah.
Some kids had never been on a hike before.
Yeah.
And said, I learned to hike this week.
Did Ashley say that? She'd never been on a hike before either?
How old is the camp is for how old? How old are the children?
8 to 18.
Okay.
Are the campers' ages. And this year we had 82 kids, I think.
Yep.
82.
Wow, that's a
kids.
pretty.
That's a huge
Yeah.
camp.
Where does that take place?
It takes place in a little town called Lyman, New Hampshire, at a camp called Ogons, which is actually owned by our former music director and his wife, George and Lynn Kent, which is just north of Franconia Notch, near Littleton, New Hampshire. It's on its own private little lake. It's 450 acres. It's very secluded, and we've been going up there for 50 years. And it is sort of the way to kick it off for all of the kids in the chorus, to give them a jump start in the season ahead. And we let the kids go. There's a small tuition to go up there, but we essentially let them go need blind. So we try to find scholarships to make it all work for everyone. And most of all the kids in the chorus do go. Some, when they're really little, might get nervous and want to sing for a year or two. But the youngest, we had 2 8-year-olds up there this year. So they can be quite small. And in this case, they can't use their iPhones. They can't call home. They are detached from mom and dad in many cases for the first time. But it really helps start to build the team, which is the chorus. And then if they can get through that, then singing a Bach concert, simple.
Right.
Ish.
Yeah.
Do you want to go to camp next year? Is that?
Well, like I said, Jessica had me at the hiking. Okay, and I was trying to figure out how I can do that in heels, but I will figure it out. But Jessica, tell us a little bit, because we know the organization, we love the organization, but it all stems back to grants, funding, and membership. Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay,
yeah,
so
we need to support ourselves. So,
right. So
we do have quite a big fundraising budget that we need to raise every year, $500,000 and upwards, depending on what projects we do. So, for instance, this season we're going on an international tour, our 5th international tour. So that means our operating budget is a little bit bigger. So we need to raise a little bit more. So we do work on receiving grants for children's programming, our music programming. Receiving grants and sponsorships from local businesses and corporations to support our concerts, to sponsor our shows. And we do rely on individual givers, just very dedicated, generous individual givers through our annual fund campaign and through just various individual gifts that they are able to.
So is it membership driven as well?
And membership, so we do have our subscription season, so we do have season subscribers, which is fantastic, and it is a great drive. However, I think one of the interesting things about the chorus is that we own our own building, the George Kent Performance Hall, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
But our performance space is kind of tight.
Yes,
so
it is.
we can't perform to an audience every day of 2,000 people.
Right.
So sometimes that is a little bit limiting, where we do have to reach out to more sponsors and grants to bring in the support for our shows.
So Ryan, let's circle back to, because it is all about the music.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you kick off the season, and I've got sort of the calendar of events here. So why don't you just take us through the calendar of events starting in October?
Yeah, sure. So October 1st, actually, we're having our first big fundraiser of the year, which is will have musical elements to it. But we're going to turn our building, the Kent Performance Hall, into a grand Bavarian hall, because we're going to have an Oktoberfest celebration, which is also going to double as a fundraiser for our tour to Germany.
Right, and I want to hear about this.
We'll get to that. And one thing, of course, as well, is we throw a good concert, but we also throw a very good party, if I do say so myself.
Well, concert, party.
They all work together.
They all work together, yeah.
And That's right. But
Because
then-
we're all fun people here.
That's true. And it's a fan, it's a I like to think a high-end musical organization, but we're also a community family organization. So you got to let your hair down every now
Well,
and
you
then.
know, one of the first things I said to Ryan when he came in, of course I know Ryan, but it was like, I was looking at the calendar events and I said, oh God, what a breath of fresh air. Not that we didn't have a breath of fresh air prior to this, but just listening to you talk in the Oktoberfest, the sort of the Bavarian, theme, and then the camps, and going to Germany. I mean, this is all new in the last,
Yeah,
it
it's
is, and
increasing.
I love to see it. I love to see it grow. So we've got that started.
We got that
up,
up, and then at the end of the month, the day before Halloween on the 30th, we have an amazing all-male a cappella group coming in. They're Minneapolis-based called Cantus. This is one of the top 2 or 3 choral organizations in the U.S., and they're going to come in and give a guest concert at the end of October. The chorus's first big concert will be on November 20th, I think. Did I get my dates right?
Yeah,
I'm not even looking at the
look at
cheat
me.
sheet.
Yeah, listen, I'm going like this, Jessica. See if he knows it. Okay.
We're doing a piece by the English composer Ralph Vaughan Williams called Hodie, which is essentially a Christmas cantata. And the chorus, this is one of the few pieces of music that the chorus has done almost every 10 years. It's sort of in our cycle of music that we think is important for the chorus to sing, particularly the children, because Vaughan Williams designed this piece to feature children along with adults. Sort of, he wrote it for a choir very similar to ours. Like there's a whole part where the boy choir is essentially doing the narration throughout the piece, which is the scripture of the Christmas scripture, if you will. It's not a religious concert, but that's where he takes it. And then the movements that Vaughan Williams scored around it are all based on poetry. By all sorts of different poets, English poets in there. So it's a Christmas work, but it's stunningly beautiful. Big orchestra, 50 pieces.
But it's a story.
It's a story, yeah. All in English.
Right.
It's a lot of fun for the kids to sing.
Right.
Then we jump to your favorite in December. On December 18th, we have our Christmas Pops concert, and that.
I forgot December 3rd. I just wanted.
Oh, sorry, December 3rd. I was cycle back. Well, this is what we used to call the Pops Extra. December 3rd.
Yeah.
We're doing something
This is
brand new.
This is new.
In fact, this was the date was resolved about 20 minutes prior to us coming over here. So we are going to have our first ever community Messiah sing, which what that means.
Yes!
Messiah.
I'm so there.
This is, you talk about stealing things from Boston and New York. In many cities, they love Messiah, they want to sing it, but they don't necessarily want to be in a chorus, nor necessarily does a chorus have the resources to put on the performance. So what this is there's an admission fee, and you can come and you can either watch or you can grab a score and you can sing along, and we will together walk through at least part 1 of Messiah and give them that Messiah fix, and we'll do it in the hall, and Andrew will conduct. And it's there's no auditions or anything, so if you want to come and sing, or if you want to come and sing some of it and just flip the pages along with it, we'll do that.
Do you
have
know
some
how
food
fun?
together.
It's kind of like an interaction, sort of,
Well, there's a couple.
Yeah.
That's precisely it.
Actually, yeah.
It's
well.
you could. I mean, we want one. It's a good recruitment tool for people
Yeah.
who might be interested in the chorus. 2, a lot of people just want to come together and sing through Messiah, or they just love it. And it's a low. We'll do it relax. But you talk about trying some new things. Going to a classical music concert is intimidating for a lot of people, even singing it or attending it. And this is sort of a way to kind of open up that door to be like, look, we're friendly people. We might have tuxedos and fancy dresses on when we sing, but we're normal people, and this is what life is like up there. So.
And this is also our passion, and we want to share it with you.
Yeah.
Because it may be maybe your passion too.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity to see what we do.
Right. Precisely.
Yeah.
And it's we've never done this before, and a lot of other choral organizations do it and have much success at it. So we're going to give it a whirl, and if it's successful, we'll do it again.
Yeah. Oh, that's exciting.
I'm going to pay.
Well, I'm going to pay for the next one. All right.
And then we
18th,
jump right into the 18th, into our Christmas Pops concert, which is always probably the biggest hit of our year. It is a lot of fun for us to do because it does. It's not that it's any less important than the Hodie or any of these other performances, but for many people, it's a very special part of their holiday season.
Well, for the community, I think it kicks it off. And I will tell you, I've been there when there have been tears flowing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I sit there and I watch. As a matter of fact, I watched my 6th grade school teacher who didn't know I was there because I spent a lot of time in the office of the principal. But anyways, just talking. Anyways, I saw her there one time, and she was actually moved to tears. So I see her there, moved to tears, and I'm like, oh, what do I? Because it's sort of and again, you don't have to be a religious person, but I don't know anybody that doesn't enjoy that type of music during the holiday season.
Yeah.
And anybody that doesn't remember that type of music, the holiday season. It has to bring you back, and it always brings you back to some really good feelings.
It does.
And that is just one of my favorite shows. But anyways.
What's your favorite song that they sing? What's your
Well, I'm not
favorite
going to say
Christmas show?
because I got to tell you something. They're all really,
Right.
you have to go there. Let me put it this way. You have to experience, you can't even say there's a favorite. Okay, because each year it's a magical thing. You experience, it's a different, and in that hall, which is how old?
1886. So my
1886.
math
Wow,
is, there
really?
you go. So we're getting up to 130 years, I guess. That's it.
Right.
Yeah, we decorate the hall, and it's
It
festive.
definitely is. The
And then we
holiday
have a
season.
huge orchestra. I mean, we have the biggest orchestra we'll have, which is
Right.
and you've got all of the singers. And in many cases, for the kids are auditioned before every concert to see if they're ready. But we, for the most part, let all the kids sing Christmas pops. And so in many cases, you're seeing some of these kids get to do this for the first time. And it's very neat in rehearsal to see the sort of wonderment on their faces when they look around and there's 24 string players and, 15 brass players and a whole, it's quite something to behold.
Right.
But it's my mother, for example, likes to say, the Christmas season kicks off with this particular event.
Right.
And for some people, it's that joy that they need to get going, or in some cases, it's what they need for healing in their lives. We
Absolutely.
talked about this last year, but
Yeah.
a couple of years back, we had Pops in the same weekend where the tragedy down in Newtown took place.
That's correct, yeah.
And it was right on the heels of it. It was that same weekend, and we had a lot of discussions at the chorus of what should we do.
What would be appropriate?
And I remember a lot of people went in there very sad because it was just a horrible weekend, but left there feeling the sense of combined unity, if you will,
and a
power.
sense of renewal.
Yeah.
That there is, life goes on. Life goes on, whether it's through the music or just even the people in sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? You look at the children.
Yeah.
And you look at the children, there's always hope.
Yeah.
So I encourage everybody. If there's any, you know what? I'm not.
Well,
there's a lot to pick from.
It'll sell out
quickly.
So you can get the tickets now.
Yes.
And so
because it's a small space. I mean, for people
There's
that
a phone
know it,
number
there
on
it is
the
right
screen,
there.
right
We
there.
got it. Thank you, Frank. Oh, on sale now.
Ashley will answer
you
Yes,
really
I will.
answer the phone. But I do want to talk about a little bit on what's coming up too, because we're doing a lot of talking. I want to make sure we get this tour of Germany in here. So, Jessica, tell us a little bit about this, or who's the best person?
Well, Ryan knows most of the details.
Okay.
But our tour kicks off.
But we want to talk about
tour.
sponsorship too, and some kind, help to kick this
so
off.
we do need actually a lot of help to get us going on this tour. So the chorus members and other followers, as we call them, so anybody who wants to come along to the tour can pay in and be a part of it. But we do have a lot of kids. We have a lot of teenagers and a lot of young kids who, for them, unfortunately, financially, it's not as feasible. So we are working to build some scholarships. So we can support and sponsor these kids to send them over to Germany on their first international tour. So we are working to develop some of those. So if anybody's interested or excited, you can call me. We'll talk about the details.
I'm excited. Yes, I want to go. I need a scholarship. So anybody out there wants to send me to Germany to sing Hallelujah chorus? Is that how it goes?
Well, you can sing it. I mean,
Nobody listening, but
you can be our opener if you want. I mean, that's still.
how many children, how many adults are you anticipating on this tour?
We'll probably have about 180 people or so total go on the trip.
Okay.
And we'll probably have about 110, 115 singers, and maybe 35 or so of those will be, mostly will be our teenagers that I think will go.
Okay.
The tour is actually centered around one piece of music, which is J.S. Bach's B minor Mass, which is probably one of the most important pieces of choral music ever written, if not the most important piece of music. And we're essentially taking this piece home. Next summer is a very interesting time, especially in Eastern Germany. It is the 500th anniversary of the Reformation, where Martin Luther pinned the 95 Theses onto the door of the castle church. And so around Germany, there's a lot of celebrations happening, music festivals, things like that happening. One of the most important composers is, of course, Bach, but he was also a big Lutheran choral director and composer, and he worked in a number of churches all around the eastern part of Germany. One of his primary churches was one called the St. Thomas Church in Leipzig, or the Thomaskirche. And the chorus is actually going to be singing parts of the B minor Mass in the high service there on the very first weekend we're on tour. So, and then taking the B minor to some of his other places, churches that he worked in. So essentially we're bringing Bach home to Germany with him and getting a chance to sing this, and this is a monumental work. Sing it in the spaces where he worked and having the invitations to sing in these spaces is a huge honor for us, and quite frankly is the reason why we're going to Germany next year.
Yeah.
That's quite meaningful.
Yeah, and it's the choruses have the unique opportunity of a couple interesting things on tour. In 1981, it was the first independent American choral organization, not affiliated with a church, to be invited to sing at Westminster Abbey. So that was a very big deal. The chorus sang High Mass at St. Peter's Basilica at the Vatican in 1987. Another very big, important thing. Was back at Westminster Abbey again in the 90s. And then last year, 2014, the chorus went to Prague and sang Dvorak in Smetana Hall, and that's where Dvorak worked and wrote. So this isn't along that line, and getting a chance to get kids there to do this is also the other reason we're doing this. It's not just going to Germany or going to Europe for the sake of going on vacation. Certainly there'll be things, sightseeing and stuff like that as well.
You gotta put that
it's
in
a
there.
performance tour,
Yeah.
and it's probably 1,000, maybe 10,000 little logistics that have to be worked out, because you're not just traveling with a group of high schoolers or a group of adults. You have kids that are kids that are in high school, kids are in elementary school, for goodness sakes. You have adults who are senior citizens. Some can walk, some can't walk very well, and so you're planning a tour and then they're family members. So you're planning a tour and a trip for all of these folks. So it's a lot to do, and Jessica's right. We're looking for ways to raise some scholarship money to help more kids go on there, and then also to help the chorus make it go, because there's a project like this is about a $700,000 project for the chorus. And just to give you some perspective, our operating budget for the year is about $750,000.
So this is way over the, it's way over. And an opportunity too. And we only have a few minutes. And I just want to reach out. So we sort of end outside of going to Germany. We always end the year on June 24th. Of course, that's the Summer Pops at the Wilcox Park. But this is, Jessica, welcome to the Mystic Matters family and the chorus. I know it's been a year. Ashley, thank you for all your work that you do. And of course, Ryan, the executive director, and Andrew, we have not forgotten about you. No, I mean, and thank you, all of you, for being part of that breath of fresh air and the chorus of Westerly. We only have a few minutes. Everything is down will be down on the screen. So if you want to call in, there it is. Season on sale now. And all the information. But Kristen,
There's 5 of us here. I think we should sing "Row, Row, Row Your Boat."
Thank God for Kristen. I mean, thank God she always ends it on a. She ends it on a high note, and so now I think this is a good segue to.
I'll tell Andrew you're in.
Ashley, Ryan, Kristen,
Suzette,
Jessica, thank you so much. We are Mystic Matters, the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce. Good evening.